As a species, we tend to enjoy what life has to offer, but have no regard for the consequences of our actions on other humans and the environment. Have you ever stopped to think about how the things you enjoy came to be? Where are the resources coming from? And where the resources end up? Many believe that being indoors is keeping them safe from the pollution in our air. But is this really the case?
To answer this question, we will focus on activities that are done by people around the world on a daily basis, regardless of their background. And we will determine how these activities affect the air quality around them and how the air quality might affect their health. To accomplish this, we utilize the following air quality monitoring devices to measure how each activity changes the air quality in real time. The AeroNet 4 Home. The second monitor is the AtmoTube Pro. Before we begin, we would like to define these components. CO2, or carbon dioxide, is a colorless, odorless gas found in our atmosphere, and CO2 accounts for 80% of the greenhouse gases emitted by the US from human activities.
Particulate matter is categorized into the size of the particles. PM10 are inhalable particles that are very small, measuring around 10 micrometers. PM2.5 is even smaller, measuring 2.5 micrometers. Finally, VOCs. They have high vapor pressure and low water solubility, meaning chemicals easily dissolve in them. They are also up to 10 times higher in concentration in indoor settings. Indoor sources are abundant in the average home. CO2 sources that might be inside your home include exhaust from cooking, low ventilation in a room, smoke from the fireplace, and exhaust from transportation. PM2.5 indoor sources include things such as mold spores, floating dust mites, and combustion of gasoline. PM10 has sources that arises from smoking tobacco, mold, and house cleaning products. VOCs can be produced in your home when painting walls, placing air fresheners, heating appliances, and disinfectants. These are all sources that can significantly reduce air quality in your own home.
The first activity we'll investigate is cooking. Cooking is the first step of the day for many people around the world, and it can be a main source of indoor air pollution in our everyday lives. According to Dyson, cooking can produce varying levels of VOCs and particulate matter, which all have a negative impact on your health. CO2 can also be in elevated levels in a room or around a room where cooking is taking place. Gas stoves are a main culprit to this pollution. To prove that air quality can be negatively affected by cooking, we decided to measure different variables of air quality around cooking and in other areas while cooking was taking place nearby. Through the data collected, it can be seen that CO2 increases. This makes sense since near a gas stove, more CO2 is being generated from the burning of natural gas, along with low ventilation, which causes health hazards. You can also see that the particulate matter increases near and around cooking areas. This is logical since cooking causes many particles to be released into the atmosphere through the food being cooked in aerosol form, which becomes harmful to human health. It also affects the people in the area near the kitchen since the particles travel far and create a hazard to people not in the kitchen. Cooking can cause health issues, which impacts less fortunate communities due to tight living spaces since they have a harder time getting the harmful pollutants out.
So today we're monitoring air quality inside of a car with the vents closed. The sensors are here, and we've been driving for around 15 minutes. So right now we're going to open the car vent right here, and then we're going to see the change in air quality that happens when the vents is open and outside air can come in and inside air could go out.
As seen in the data, driving with air recirculation on led to a massive spike of CO2 of up to 2655 ppm in a 2019 Honda Fit in the span of an almost 30-minute drive consistently. Meanwhile, driving the car when the concentration was at 2600 ppm and then switching to outside air coming in through the vent made the concentration fall to around 600 to 800 parts per million in the span of 10 minutes. %11 of Americans take public transportation every day. But how safe are these tight spaces packed with people? Public transportation is important and allows for many people of different diversities to travel far distances. But according to our findings, the CO2 levels rose to about 1400 parts per million, which is approaching high levels. As long as you are not exposed to these levels for extremely extended amounts of time, this is relatively safe. We also did readings on the VOC and PM levels. We saw that the VOC and particulate matter levels were relatively low, which shows that the buses and trolleys are not necessarily dangerous to anyone.
Sometimes people light fires in their house for reasons such as heating up their home, aesthetics, or just to relax, unknowingly causing themselves to be potentially in an environment with high levels of air pollution. We decided to test this fact that campfires can be harmful and are a major source of indoor air pollution, and our research led us to the same results. What can clearly be seen through our data is that fireplaces have a detrimental impact on the indoor air quality, since the particulate matter increased to over 100 parts per million, which is a harmful level for breathing. This can be an issue for those of poorer living conditions who use wood burning as a primary source of heat, since they have to live with this hazard for a basic necessity of life.
Indoor smoking, a dangerous habit in which 25.8% of smokers do it indoors, which is a dangerous habit for those participating and the people around them. Smoking indoors releases many harmful chemicals and particulates that are tiny and move around the home easily. We decided to test the claim of the harm of smoking indoor environments, and we were shocked by the results. From all the data we collected, this data was the most egregious, showing an astonishing average of 467 parts per million for PM1, 555 parts per million for PM2.5, and 631 parts per million for PM10. This is over 60 times higher than the average amount of PM2.5 recorded in a bedroom with no ventilation. Low circulation can also make the residents more likely to breathe a larger amount of particulate matter and chemicals because of the amount of smoke that builds up. As we were able to see, indoor quality is potentially more dangerous in indoor settings, and all these levels vary depending on your lifestyle. There are many existing efforts to help mitigate these problems, and one of them is the creation of air purifiers. To improve indoor air quality, we recommend limiting or completely eliminating its sources, increasing air ventilation by any mechanical system, or opening doors and windows, which can be the best way to fight indoor pollution, or just buying air cleaners.